We're going to do the song Hysteria by Def Leppard. Now with this lesson I'm also going to be sending through a link to the original song so you can hear the original, so you can compare what you're learning here to what the video actually is meant to sound like if you listen to the original. And just for a recap, if you haven't listened to or looked at the video yet, it should sound something like this. Like that, okay. So I'm going to assume that you know the song, and that you like the song. You can do fingerstyle as well, by the way, so if you want to go, I'm okay with that as well. I'll explain that through later, a bit more in depth as we go into the video. But first step, we're going to learn the chords as they're written down on your tab sheet, on your PDF file that came along with your lesson. So you're going to focus in on your fretting hand. Very important for the song, please use the same finger numbers as I'm using here. If you don't, some of the changes can get really awkward. Okay, so you're starting off with finger 2 on the 4th fret of the 4th string, ring finger, 3rd finger, 5th fret, 5th string. Now I'm going to focus quickly onto your picking hand so you can see the strings. I'm not going to lift up in any way my chord that I'm playing in the background. And we're going to start off with 4 notes in a row. Now, if I were to call out the string numbers as I'm playing them, it would be 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, 3rd string. So it's 5, 4, 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 3. And then there's a tiny pause followed through by another pause, duplication there, and those 2 triplets, because it's 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, gap, 1, 2, 3, gap, are going to be string 4, string 5, string 3. So if I combine the first 4 notes and those 2 groups of 3 notes, we're going to have something like this. I'm going to count in, so if you want to join me, you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're on to the next chord. Now, just before you do that next chord, I want to focus in on the fretting hand so you can see the change and the importance over here of using the right fingers. You had fingers 2 and 3 on, hopefully. And then we're going to change in the 3rd bar by bringing the 1st finger onto the top string, 6th string, 3rd fret, and it's going to look like that. Now back to the picking hand over here. You're now going to have 5 notes in a row, and it's going to start with the last 5 at the end of the 2nd bar. So you're going to have, and if you count the notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the string sequence that I'm plucking the strings in is going to be 5th string, 6th string, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string. One more time. And after that, tiny pause, you pluck the 4 again as on the tab, and then you repeat those 5 notes. And then after those 5 is a gap with that extra little note that I included there as well. That last 5 that kicks in over there will then lead into the next chord. But what I want to do now is I want to zoom out, and I want to play it through that you can see both left and right hands, and you can see how this first finger here comes into play. There's your first chord, fingers 2 and 3, and it's going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. The smoothest change I've done there, but you got the idea. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then comes the change. And now we're going to focus again in on our fretting hand, and we're going to go to the beginning of the 2nd line, which will be fingers 1 and 3. Don't use 1 and 2 because first it's a horrid stretch. You want 1 and 3, and you want to keep the middle finger open because the first bar of the 2nd row has an open E string. The 2nd bar of the 2nd row has a 3rd fret on the 6th string. That's where the 2nd finger is going to kick in. Now imagine I've already played that 5 from the end of the 1st row, and I'm going to cross over there difference. You can see how that finger came in. I'm going to try and get a bit of a different angle. I'm sitting really awkward here, so if I make a bad note, please forgive me. Okay, that's the preceding chord that's finishing off the first line. You're playing that 5 we mentioned, and from that 5 I'm going to play it again. You can see much better there how that middle finger came in. Once you finish that, you come back to an open on the 4th string, which will then bring you back into the original introduction. But make sure you come back on 2 and 3, not on 1 and 2, because if you do 1 and 2, you've got no fingers left for the 3 on the repeat. So you can come back on that. Okay. Now, around about 1 minute 11 seconds into the song, if you look down, there's going to be a bridge, and it says D, D sus 4, C add 9, and it says quick changes. Okay. It's going to go like that. So it's simply one strum, one string, one strum, one strum. Now I'm going to go through the chord shapes first. D, I'm sure you're aware of D or familiar with D, otherwise it wouldn't be sending you the song. D sus 4 simply adds the pinky, and it's one strum on D, one strum on D sus 4, and then you change to C add 9. Now notice that fingers 3 and 4 aren't going to move, but 1 and 2 do. 1 and 2 are going to be on strings 4 and 5 in frets 2 and 3 simultaneously. And once you've got that strum, it's going to be something like this. I'm going to play the whole thing together now, because it's nice to lead in. If you don't lead in, the last C add 9 tends to be a little bit out of context. It's going to go. Will include the strumming pattern. If you look at the PDF file, there is a strumming pattern beneath, and you can see D, D sus, C, one strum each, and as you start that C, it continues down, up, down, up, down. Okay, one more time with me, and pay attention to my strumming hand specifically for the direction of the strums. Here we go. So I'll get a bit closer so you can see the strumming there. We got that. Now we're going to go back now to focusing on the fretting hand, because the second time round it goes D, D sus, E minor 7. And again you'll notice that when you go D, pinky comes in for D sus. Again, fingers 3 and 4 haven't moved. All that happens is finger 1 goes there. You could put the second finger down, but the manuscripts or transcriptions that I got hold of tend to show that they're playing E minor 7 like this. There's obviously more than one way to play chords sometimes. So we're going to do this variation of E minor 7 over here. And again, it's one strum. Same rhythm. Then back to the D, D sus 4, C add 9, as in the first line. And then you finish off with... And C, G, and D, I'm sure you're familiar with those chords. If you're not, you shouldn't be doing this video, but we can still be friends. Okay, I'm going to take us through the whole way through the bridge, and like I said, if you want to jam along with the original, in other words with the link that I sent you, round about 1 minute 11 seconds into the song, you'll find this part. Okay, oh sorry, it's 0.52, 0.52 seconds, my mistake. 0.52 seconds is the bridge. 1:11 is the chorus, which comes after this. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we've got basically the entire song, well, the rhythm of it anyway. When it goes into the chorus, which is at 1 minute 11 seconds, like I said, I made a mistake there, I apologize. 0.52 is the bridge, and 1 minute 11 seconds the chorus. Normal E minors, normal Cs, normal Ds. And so when he goes to when I get a story go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. Very easy. 3 times in a row. This is the easiest part of the song. One more time. that's at 1 minute 40. So just to recap on the timing that you didn't get confused from my beginning. After you've done the intro, the bridge with the D and the D sus and the C add 9s is at 0:52 seconds, and the chorus with the E minor C D is at 1 minute 11 seconds. Now, I did mention in the beginning that you don't have to use a pick if you don't want to. You can also use this as a nice, cool finger style picking if you want to as well, which I'm going to focus on a bit over here. Now, for this one over here, I'm playing the chords as shown in the beginning of the video. I'm not going to focus more on the fretting hand. I'm going to focus here. I like letting these fingers rest on the body of the guitar. It gives me a position. It helps me know where I am. If my hand's in the air, it's very easy for the hand to drift. So keep positioning. I've got a location there. And you're going to go, what's the thumb first, thumb first. And on the strings, 5, 4, 5, 3. When you change over there, you can see the thumb's working a bit extra. So one more time, if you want to play with me using the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Now listen to the difference between the fingers and the pick. The pick is much more brighter. And you can hear the fingers. Hear the difference in the sound. Now, just for comparison purposes, I'm going to switch from the Les Paul, which has got humbucker pickups, just so that you can hear the difference in the pickup sound. Just because I get lots of students asking what's the difference in sound between a single coil and a humbucker. I'm going to play it one more time, then I'm going to pause the video and switch guitars. Here we go. And now to swap. And here we have the single coils. And I've had some students ask which is better, and my answer is going to be not maybe the one that you like or the answer that you're expecting, but it's going to be it's the sound that you think sounds cooler. Some people do prefer the sound of humbuckers, some do prefer the sound of single coils. So whatever works for you, that's the sound you go for. One more time. Single coils. Humbuckers. And we'd finish off an acoustic just to prove that it works on this too. Also sounds cool. End of the day, whatever guitar you use, this is one of the songs that all sound good on, especially, for example, the chorus on acoustic. So the whole D sus and E minor 7s and C add 9s sound really cool on acoustic as well. Any questions? You've got my WhatsApp details. Looking forward to hearing from you. In fact, I'd like to hear from you. Especially, I'd like to hear you playing and see you playing this video of you playing either with fingers like I did there or the plectrum. I don't mind, whatever makes you comfortable. I'd just like to see you playing a little bit. Have an awesome week. Take care.